IP address of the website. And let's say the IP address of the website, we got it as 4.5.65.4. Okay, we got something like this. So what we will do is that one of the thing is that what we will do is that we will try to block this. Let's say we'll try to block this IP address, for example. Block this IP address at our enterprise level. At our enterprise level, we'll try to block this IP address. So what the issue will be? The issue will be, let's say the issue will be that in this IP address, there are a lot of other websites that are hosted. Okay, like xyz.com and all. So the thing is that without even knowing that, as a security person, we should first of all know that is this website, is this IP address host multiple other websites? Is this IP address a shared hosting provider IP address? So that is something we need to know, because if we just blankly just go on and block this IP address, so what will happen is that all the other websites that are hosted on this IP address, like xyz.com or qwe.com, all will be blocked. So the users of our enterprise, they won't be able to visit xyz.com, even though it is not malicious. So that's one of the cons of this like shared hosting provider IP address. So before kind of doing any such kind of blocking, as a cybersecurity professional, we should know that, okay, if this IP address is kind of indeed a kind of IP address of hosting provider, so one of the things we need to know is that we need to first check out like what are the different websites, what are the list of websites that are hosted on this IP address. Okay, list of websites hosted on this IP address. Okay, so one of the things can be done is definitely like NS lookup, and then the IP address. So this will probably give us the list of IP addresses, list of websites behind this IP address, or maybe we can do some kind of search, let's say on Aristotle or something like that. That should also give us list of other websites that are hosted on this on the same IP address. And then we should kind of take a decision if we should kind of start blocking on the IP address, or we should go forward and block on the domain name, that is abc.com. That is something we should kind of figure out. The other thing is that the websites which are hosted on as a shared hosting, like in this case, we see that, okay, there were a lot of websites which were hosted on a single IP address. So one of the things that we have seen is that even if you go and block the IP address, it won't raise any major impact, because thing is that the good websites, like let's say google.com, or let's say facebook.com, or let's say wikipedia.com, for example, or what they will do is that, because those are famous websites, they will most of the time, 99% of the time, they will opt for a separate hosting server. Okay, rather than kind of looking for a cheap way where they will be kind of like hosting their website content on a same shared hosting server. They will 99% of the case they will host their website content on a separate hosting server. Okay, so that's the reason even if you go and block the website, it won't have a major impact on the user. So even if, let's say, there will be actually very few users who will be kind of visiting xyz.com. Okay, so even if they kind of even if they are kind of blocked accessing this website, it's not a major concern for our enterprise. So it's better to kind of take a decision, like rather than should we block on the IP address or should we block on the domain. But thing is that it's always better to kind of know, even like, let's say we got an alert for, let's say we got an alert for an example that there is a malicious traffic staying in with the IP address is this one and the destination port is, let's say, 443. Okay, so thing is that over here, again, as a cybersecurity professional, we should know okay, which website is getting served on this 443. Okay, so definitely it will come as like, let's say abc.com. Where if you do a NS lookup, it will give us a list of websites that are being served on this IP address, like this, like a lot of other IP address. In that case, we should kind of also look at a DNS log to see what was that specific website that was queried. Like for example, in the DNS log, at the time of alert, where we found out that there was suspicious traffic towards this IP address over destination 443, what we can do is that in that same IP, in that same time range, so let's say something happened today at 8 a.m., we got an alert at 8 a.m. for this IP address for destination 443. So what we can do is that we can look at the DNS log at the same time, which is 8 a.m. Okay, and we can see that, okay, a DNS query was getting resolved for abc.com. So now we know that even though this IP address hosts multiple other websites, we now know that the concerning website is only this one, which is the abc.com. Okay, so this is something when we get we get an alert with a similar kind of pattern, like where there's an IP address and where there's a port number that is well-known port number like 80 or 443. What we should always do is, like, we should kind of see if that IP address is a hosting provider IP address, where it kind of hosts, where there's a server which is hosting multiple websites. What we can do is that in that case, we can just utilize the NSLOOKUP domain command to kind of know about the list of domains hosted on that. And then we can also kind of map that out with the DNS log to figure out the exact website which is actually potentially malicious. Okay, so currently I don't have the like unique like IP address that I would have kind of shown an example, but this is how the thing would look like. Is that this website, this IP address will be kind of linked to multiple websites, and there will be kind of different kind of scenario which you will be kind of, as a SOC professional, you will be kind of encountering, where you will be kind of ending up with a IP address where it will be a shared hosting IP address, and you need to take a decision where either you take a decision that you block the website, either you block the IP address or you block the specific website. So the best part would be that you block on the IP address rather than just the website. That is one thing. But when you are trying to do the scoping, where you are trying to find out in the containment stage, you are trying to find out potentially compromised system. The best thing is that rather than kind of looking at the devices who had made a connection to this IP address, it's better to kind of look at those devices who had made a DNS query to abc.com rather than just the IP address. So what will happen is that maybe you would get 100 users who had visited this IP address. Okay, but if you look at during the scoping, if you look at the website which was indeed malicious, so let's say the malicious website was only abc.com, so you would end up, let's say, only 10 users maybe who had visited abc.com. Okay, so thing is that for the blocking part, it's fine that you block out on the 4.5.65.4, but for the scoping part, it's always better that you figure out the potentially impacted user based on the domain name, okay, rather than just the IP address. Because that will, if you do just on the IP address, it will give you a false number saying that all the 100 users are potentially compromised. But the thing is that 90 of those users might be visiting the other websites like xyz.com or wer.com. So in that case, it's always better to kind of figure out what's the IOCs you are using to kind of do the scoping part, and what the IOC you are using for doing the containment part for the shared hosting part. Okay, so that's all kind of a quick discussion regarding kind of an incident that you will kind of you might be encountering when you are kind of dealing with an IP address which is related to a server which is handling shared hosting on its own. Okay, so that's all for the shared hosting part. If you guys have any question,